All right, we're having Susan join us today. We're going to talk about some holistic wellness. We both have bodybuilding backgrounds, and I'm just going to wait for her to join us and we're going to introduce ourselves. I'm excited. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and drop them now. Maybe. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm so excited.
No, we did it. Yeah. I'm so happy to be here.
Me too. So, do you mind telling us a little bit about who you are and what you're doing?
Yeah, sure. So for those of you that don't know me or follow me yet or are new to the space, my name is Susan. I am living currently in Northeast Ohio, have born and raised, and I am a board certified family nurse practitioner turned functional health coach.
That's
Meaning I still practice as a nurse practitioner, but in my new endeavor, I'm kind of switching gears and focusing more on coaching and consulting, a little bit outside of traditional healthcare. And I'm super excited about it. I've been a nurse for 26 years and in an advanced practice role for the last 8, and it's been rather eye-opening. So super stoked to be bringing all my years of education and knowledge your way, and super passionate about holistic health and functional well-being.
That's so awesome. I'm on the other side of that. I've experienced what you just said from my dog is having a heart attack in the floor. I'm so sorry.
Oh, save her.
Not a literal heart attack. She
Okay.
just now decided to, dance around on the floor. But anyways, yeah, so I've gone through my own health instances and I didn't love the way I was treated. So I definitely come from the opposite end of that. And I'm so glad you're taking action on that. And I'm just curious, like, what is it that you're doing differently and what in the traditional healthcare system made you want to do something differently?
So I had a very personal experience myself with a diagnosis that came about 7 or 8 years ago with an autoimmune disorder. Began to experience multi system kind of issues with gut and skin and joint pain, and the biggest problem for me was joint pain. I'm a go-getter. I'm very active. I've always prided myself on being healthy and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, always active, competed in triathlons, ventured into bodybuilding and all the things. But when I was starting to notice that my ways of doing things weren't really helping, and I was relying more on pharmaceuticals and medications and anti-inflammatory medication, I got to be a little panicky. So I sought out traditional conventional help, and I saw all the specialists, right? Went to the orthopedics, had injections in my knees. I went to a rheumatologist, had the big workup. And I really didn't get any real answers. I had positive blood work findings consistent with an autoimmune disease, but nobody could give me that specific diagnosis. Oh, maybe you have lupus, you don't have rheumatoid, but we're just going to call you a mixed connective tissue disease, and really no guidance on really what to do with that. I did get a little bit here and there when I expressed my passion for wanting to pursue a natural kind of approach and what could I do? Like, tell me the things. Nobody ever kind of talked about nutrition or my lifestyle or my stress levels or what was happening outside of, my symptoms. It was very much a symptom management type of thing, throwing medications, the oral chemos and aggressive things at me that I of course balked at. I was willing to try, but immediately um, it was a hard no. So I took things into my own hands, started to do a lot of education and research, and I'm happy to say that everything that I've incorporated, I've been pain free for a long time.
That's
Um,
awesome.
I still do all my things. I work out every day. I eat very healthy, but I want to share that with people, and it can be done.
Hmm.
I will never get rid of that, autoimmune marker on my blood work. It's there. I think it'll be there forever. I don't truly think it'll ever go away, but I've been able to live life fully and essentially pain free.
Hmm.
There's episodes, but not nearly to what I was before. So that really is what sparked my interest in wanting to pursue deeper. It's not just a
Yeah.
band-aid. It's sometimes you got to do the work and figure out what's the root cause.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, and I feel like until you're in this world of the natural healing, you don't really know it's possible because it's not talked about. And same with me, I've been through all the medications thrown at me. I saw a nutritionist once. Her solution was to drink more wine. That's when I, I was like, okay, um, I'm not seeing you again. But that's when I realized I was like, okay, I think I'm actually the only one who can help myself. I'm the only one who can feel what I'm feeling and actually decide what's making me feel better or not. And, it's hard to even see a doctor nowadays, too. For instance, I scheduled my earliest possible appointment with my GI doctor last month, and the earliest possible is late August. And I need it much sooner. So it's crazy. But I'm curious, are you doing functional lab testing?
So I am. I've done outside of my traditional schooling and things. I had to go back and do some education. So I've taken all these awesome courses and done a deep dive into all things, everything from GI mapping to Dutch testing to HTMA, which is the hair tissue mineral analysis.
Hmm.
And it really kind of is specified, right? It's not a one size fits all. It really depends on again symptoms, but we're not really basing on symptoms solely. It's really spending time with a client and getting to know them and what their lifestyle is like and what is contributing. It's not always just, you know, you have dysbiosis or gut microbiome issue, or maybe it's a genetic thing that you've got a factor off or a gene mutation that isn't allowing you to process or methylate or do all these fancy things. So for me as a practitioner and a provider, I've always had a passion for listening, right? It's a lost art. And unfortunately, in the world that we live in now, with conventional medicine, again, it comes down to kind of the insurances and the corporations, and we don't have a lot of time to spend with patients. So for me, it's not just about functional labs. Yes, I will do them, but it's more about learning about the client
Hmm.
and what's going on, like what kind of symptoms are you
Yeah.
having. A lot of people will come and say, I've been diagnosed with Hashimoto's and I have a thyroid issue and my gut dysbiosis and I have SIBO, and those they're living under that diagnosis, like that's what they have. But you can have an array of symptoms that are easily managed even without having to pursue lab
Hmm.
work. So it really just is a deep dive into somebody's symptoms, what's going on, you know, getting that. Sometimes we can manage it with just lifestyle change,
Yeah.
diet, nutrition, exercise, stress management, all of those things.
Yeah. I think that's really important what you said about like really understanding the person's lifestyle because, you know, something I learned even as a personal trainer and being in the bodybuilding industry and a bodybuilding coach is even my clients who are bodybuilders, each one is different. They're not all only what they put on the stage. Everybody has something at the root and they need to be treated from that root. So some people need a little bit more care than others. Some people can't tolerate the same amount of stress on their body as others. And unfortunately, I was one of those. I needed to be a little bit lighter on myself. And I'm so glad that I went through the journey that I did because I was able to recognize that there is a hole in the bodybuilding industry and we need to be treated with a little bit more respect to our bodies. So,
Yeah. Can you
yeah.
share a little bit about like what you experienced
Oh,
in
goodness.
that and what you had to go
Lordy.
through?
Yeah, it's such a long story. So my whole life I have dealt with gut issues, and they didn't really become a huge thing until after my bodybuilding show. So I had a great prep. My calories didn't get super low. I didn't have any issues during my prep. And then about a month later, I had another traumatic experience. I say another because there were just a lot of things adding up in my life at that time. My husband was deployed. I about lost some very important people to me, and just a lot of
Sure.
things. And that one last thing that happened, it just clicked for me, and immediately everything just fell apart. And I lost even more weight. After your show, you want to gain that weight back. And I was so excited because I was so tired of being so lean. And I ended up 100 pounds. And I have never in my life been that weight, probably since I was like 10. So I got really sick. I dealt with a lot of constipation, not wanting to eat. It would go back to diarrhea. And I know I'm getting nitty gritty, but it's real life and it
It is
happens.
life.
So yeah, and all of that turned into depression, extreme anxiety. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't know if I was going to poop my pants in public or not. Like
Yeah.
it got crazy.
Horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't know what to eat. And all day I would not have an appetite and I would not eat. And then by the time like 9 o'clock at night before I go to bed, I would want to eat everything in the world because that hunger would just hit. And I wasn't sleeping, and just every symptom you could think of, I pretty much experienced it. And then I ended up going to the hospital because I had some chest pains, and I tried to go to urgent care, and they sent me straight to the hospital, of course. And then that led up to them finding a hiatal hernia. So I had some things done. I had my endoscopy, my colonoscopy. They took a biopsy, and they found inflammation in my colon. We thought it was Crohn's disease for a while. That
Oh,
was a no. And so then I was told I have IBS-C. Well, first it was mixed, and then they said IBS-C, and then I had my hiatal hernia fixed, and I thought, okay, cool. So we fixed the root cause, right?
no,
No, no. I
no.
had a whole surgery, a whole
Girl, it's
surgery.
the
Oh my
stress.
gosh. I I'm so angry. And after that, that was a turning point. I realized I'm so done. Like it's just traditional medicine is not okay, and it was not my hiatal hernia, and the surgery actually made everything worse. I get very frustrated and I'm very passionate about it, but if there is
Sometimes you have to
something to
go
try before,
through, yeah, sometimes you have to go through the most deepest
hmm
horrific experience to gain insight
yeah,
as to truly what it is. And in hindsight, you can look back and know like all of those extra
mhm,
stressors on top of an already taxed body
yeah,
system, just snowballed for you, right?
yeah, I'm
So
happy for it.
yeah.
But even on top of all that stress, and I had the antibiotics, and then just once again not being able to eat properly, it was just a total snowball effect. And um, there was something else I was going to say about the constipation. I'm always talking about my
I cut you
constipation.
off. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, no, no. You're okay. The big thing is I have a tortuous colon. I don't know if you're familiar with, yeah.
So, funny story, I
Mhm.
practiced in GI for 4 years when I
Okay.
became a practitioner. So, lots of knowledge about the gut. What I'm ashamed to admit that I didn't know what I didn't know back then, coming out and learning all of that, because when you become board certified in family medicine, you don't necessarily specialize. So, when I specialized, I had to do a lot of education.
Mhm.
And although I was educating myself to the standard of what they wanted me to essentially
Mhm.
practice, right? I wasn't getting to root cause at that point. I was just kind of following all the check marks, prescribing PPIs and putting people on antacids and giving Miralax and the whole thing, and never really addressing. So I totally get it.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of me too, wanting to really have a better understanding of all of
Mhm.
that and the systems, and be like, my gosh, I feel like I did so many people a disservice back then. And if I knew not then what I know now, oh, it really kind of, it's a tugs at my heartstrings a
Yeah.
lot, because um, it's just amazing what's out there, and
Mhm.
what you don't know, you
Yeah.
know.
And now
And
that
to
I
say to
am in
have
this space,
somebody, right, that's
yeah,
been through it and has helped and grown and done the research and figured out how to live despite all of those things, it's like mind blowing, right? So that's
the
awesome.
second I ask a traditional doctor for a holistic approach, they're like,
Yeah,
no. Like, okay, well,
yeah,
for you. But yeah, I was on medication, antacids, PPIs, like on everything. And none of them helped, but I had the bottle, so I was like, why not take it? I'm being told take it, so I'm gonna take it.
right.
It yeah.
Not always the
Even though I knew it
answer.
wasn't doing anything.
So this sparked you and your interest in pursuing what you're
Yeah.
currently doing now, which is
I'm a holistic bodybuilding coach, so um, taking a step back from the traditional approach, I think it's very toxic, just to be blunt. The hustle culture is too much. There is a time and place to hustle, but the stress that we put on our bodies during a prep shouldn't be that stressful.
right, right,
Obviously, obviously there's going to be some stress there, but there is a better approach to it. We need to eat whole foods, not your protein bars and all that crap. There are so
crap.
many things in it.
And I did it too. I mean,
Yeah,
I competed twice. One time was better than the other. But again, it's not a realistic lifestyle.
yeah,
My
trying
husband
to
can
save
talk about that.
calories.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and what you see on the internet, and everybody posts all the good things about it, but I'll tell you, and so many dark times, and it's a very selfish sport and very um, hard.
Hmm.
Personally, for me, it was more of a how far can I push my body, and can I look that way at the time at being 40, and here I am almost 50, and did it again closer to that age, and it it can be done and it's great, and that if that's something you want to pursue, wonderful, but you got to do it in a way that's sustainable and healthy, right?
Yeah,
So
and then
I'm so happy for you.
oh, thank
I'm
you,
excited.
thank
You're gonna
you.
change a lot of lives.
Yeah, it's crazy. Since I've been in this space, I've realized there are so many women who are not talking about it, and they're there, and I'm like, looking at their social media, you would have no idea. They are silently suffering, and it's not fair, and it's not okay, and it breaks my heart. And I honestly am about to cry.
Yeah,
But it it's just it's not okay. It's not sustainable. We can be bodybuilders our whole lives if we want to take a sustainable approach. So yeah, Whole Foods is a big, big thing for me. We don't need every supplement under the moon. That's a big thing too, is we over supplement, not understanding what a supplement is. If
right,
we're eating these whole foods, you probably don't need that supplement.
right,
But also, I don't see any point in getting super, super low calories. That's not okay. If you have to cut that quickly, then you need to take a more gradual approach. There are different seasons in our life. Like, for instance, I'm not in a season right now where my body would be okay in a prep. And I recognize that as much as I want to be on that stage. My federation just had a show in Miami, and I was watching the live, and it was breaking my heart. I wanted to be up there so bad. But I
amen,
recognize that it's not my time, and that's okay. And I want other people to recognize that too. So you need to be preparing your body now for when that time does come, because you want to be the strongest you can.
right.
So,
And
yeah.
your focus too on the whole nutrition is awesome. But I know that you're really super passionate about mental health and having that space and stress and meditation and having faith in your life and leaning on that
Yeah.
as I mean, in holistic health or functional health, people often lose sight of. That's a big part of it, right? So, people come to people like us in particular in the functional space and wanting all these awesome deep dive labs and things like that to uncover maybe a possible root cause, but a lot of times they just it's an oversight about what may be contributing from other aspects in their life, right? How much stress are you
Yeah.
under? When I was diagnosed with my autoimmune disease, I was burning the candle at both ends. I was working two jobs, crazy times in our lives where you just stepped up and you did it. I worked in a very high stress critical care area at the time. I was pursuing higher education. I was in school full time, working full time, had three kids, married, dogs, you name it. And that's what I thrived on, right? I thrived on this crazy adrenaline all the time, go, 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 go. But what was happening internally, I wasn't giving myself any grace, or I was working out and even
Yeah.
that, right? Just compile more stress, more stress, more stress. Just because you're exercising doesn't mean you're doing the right exercise for the season that you're in. So I think that those are just really super important things. And I know that you're super passionate about that too, and incorporating that into your style of coaching.
Yeah.
And it's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I
You're
also take
welcome.
on clients after their show. So a lot of times, they're thrown a reverse diet on a spreadsheet and they're told, here, do this. And sometimes that's not what you need. You don't need to be in the gym necessarily. Honestly, what might be best for your body is walking, like just de-stress. And like right now, I'm really loving Pilates, which I never I never thought I would say that, but I'm really enjoying it and I'm leaning into that because I'm finding right now my body nor my brain is really enjoying the gym right now. It's becoming more of a stressor. And so why not take that stress off of myself and do an at-home Pilates class from YouTube? It's really fun. So
Yes.
I'm honoring that season and same thing for my clients. Like I know that it is a brain game, but you have to break that and understand that if you do want to be in this in the long run, you have to take that break.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Were there any, I don't know if there were comments that we need to follow up through. We've been chatting this whole
I
time and
know.
I'm old in my glasses. I know that Beth had asked some questions or posted in the box about post chemo as well as perimenopause,
Weight loss.
weight gain. And for um, me and a lot of my followers, just because I am in this season of my life, perimenopause and menopause is huge. It's a struggle. It's a struggle on a daily for a lot of women, and it's more and more talked about now. I think with the social media and the access and all the things that we have access to, and all of the people out there. Oh, hi, baby.
Such a shun, sorry.
I had to shut my door, or else I'd have one in my lap too. It's a hot topic, right? So there isn't a straight answer for you, Beth, today. Just because it is a pretty big deep dive with somebody that's experienced a cancer diagnosis and gone through chemotherapy. Just from a medical standpoint, there's so much that goes into that, right? I would have to know, like, I don't know what cancer, I don't know what kind of chemo, I don't know what part of the body was affected, although chemo is systemic, right? So it's going to wreak havoc on a lot of different things. You can have nutritional deficiencies, you can have altered microbiome, you can have an array of different things. My mom went through cancer treatment twice. And she's been left with an array of different things, taste buds are shot. So it makes nutrition kind of difficult for her. Some things she can tolerate, some things not. So when we talk about making recommendations, it is a deep dive into what was your treatment, how long has it been, what symptoms are you left with, what kind of medications do you take currently. So some lab testing would be maybe good, but again, focusing on more of a holistic approach with meditation, stress reduction, focusing on wholly plant kind of derived foods and whole foods and incorporating anti-inflammatory living to kind of reset your body essentially from the treatments that you did have. So I hope that kind of answers, but again, it's more of a deep dive that would have to be taken specifically geared toward you, right?
I love that you said anti-inflammatory.
So I'm
That,
super passionate, and honestly, that's essentially what fixed me, right?
mhm.
Zero sugar, um, all the things, just cutting out all the grains and processed foods and focusing on whole food nutrition, and it is life changing. And I can't speak enough about it. So it's a lot of what I incorporate into my coaching.
Same.
And I do a lot of nutrition guidance. I do have an app that I'll utilize in my coaching sessions that will build meal plans and give guidance. And even if you're out to dinner, kind of make some suggestions as far as restaurant menus and what you can. You can live a fun life and still have fun and do all the things and enjoy outings and still maintain a really healthy diet. diet. So, yeah, super passionate about that.
Me too. And I love that you said that you have your app that helps you even dine out because I know going through my journey, you have to get very particular. You have to study the menu before you go. I literally have a file saved on my phone of my
I
orders
love
at certain
that.
restaurants because once you know what you like and that it's good for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
you might as well stick to it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, I have a weird question for you.
Shoot.
What is your go-to snack?
For me personally, I know this is terrible, and I've stopped lately, but frozen grapes in the summertime, and I know it's so high in sugar. I'm good sugar, but if you eat one, it's like, oh, you can't stop. So that's like a snack. But outside of that, generally, I'm pretty boring. I love like hummus and some veggies. Um, Let me think. Pickles.
I love Cleveland Kitchen. Do you eat theirs?
Cleveland Kitchen.
They're
Oh, I get their
fermented.
crowd. I get
I
the
love the
amount of
red
money.
onions. They're so
I was
good.
going to ask you if you do your own or if you get them somewhere.
I have
Okay.
made my own, but they just weren't the same, to be honest. So that is like the one thing that I buy and don't make myself.
Oh, I just saw a recipe and I'm like, I wonder if Ashton makes her own. I saw them in one of your meals recently, and I'm like, I bet she's on her farm making her own stuff. I buy
No,
their
that's like my
kimchi.
one.
I buy their kimchi. It's
Love
delicious. My husband thinks it
that.
smells like vomit, but I love it. Yeah.
I don't like kimchi.
You don't?
I try because it's so good for you, but I can't do it.
Just eat it like right out of the bag.
Mm.
I know.
Now, I'll eat bones.
Bones. Like
Bones.
legit bones. You
Legit
know, on
bones.
bones. Like
Hmm.
chicken bones. Oh,
When I make my stock and I let it simmer,
okay.
well, yeah, they get super, super soft because I simmer
I'm
for 2 to 3 days. And
not sure
yeah,
that's helpful for you, gut for your
just a
gut. I'm
little
gonna look
bit.
into
The
that. Okay.
calcium,
Okay.
just a little bit. Too much, not,
People, I'm
especially
not
with my
sure you should do
constipation.
that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Oh
no, I
God,
don't
that's like a foreign
recommend eating
body issue.
bones.
I've been down that road a few times in the emergency room. Not a good idea.
It's a bonding for me and my dog. We just sit there and we eat bones.
Okay.
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm half serious.
I love it. I love it.
All right. I feel like we just ate that time away.
I can't even see like how long it's
We have
been.
3 minutes. We were talking about doing 30 minutes. We have 3 minutes left on that 30.
Frozen grapes are not good. I think that's
I love
obey.
that we're talking about frozen grapes because I actually just froze grapes this morning and I did it with lemon juice and allulose. And I don't know if it'll taste okay,
Have to be
but
red. I don't like green, but the
I did
red.
both.
And they have to be really small. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. If you are serious about they're not good, you don't know what you're missing.
That's crazy. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before?
I mean, is there anybody else asking any questions? I don't know. I mean, I guess
Ashton, what do you feel like your top advice on exercise and mental health? Well, we were talking about honoring our body. So let's just say this. There's a fine line between discipline and honoring your body. So you know you need to work out today. Seriously, ask yourself and be honest. Like, check in with yourself. Do I truly feel like doing this today physically, or is this more of a mental thing? If it's more of a mental thing, I would say go and do it because you'll probably end up regretting it and then it's going to be an even more of a mental thing. But you just got to tune in with yourself. I
I
say
love the
go do it.
saying that exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant.
Hmm.
For me, I'm an early morning riser. I go to the gym super early, and for me, it always has been. Exercise has always been more of a mental health kind of thing for me. Before I
Yeah.
started in the competing world and doing triathlons and doing all the things, for me, it was, I felt better, right? All
Hmm.
those endorphins get released and all of that stuff. So there is a point in time where, you can overdo it, I suppose, but I feel like a walk a day is a must, and it should be for
Yes.
everybody.
Walking is so underrated.
Yeah.
And
Literally.
It
I mean,
goes,
there's studies published that
yes,
indicate, I mean, my gosh, it's the easiest thing to do. And
and it's helpful in all aspects.
yeah, for
So,
real.
and also,
Mary did post that she thought grapes were high in glycemic index. Yes, they are very. So I froze my last bag of grapes. My husband laughs at me. I would literally bring $30 worth of grapes home from the store, wash them all, soak them, dry them, all the things, put them in the bags. It was a small addiction. So yes, they're very high in sugar, and I've stopped doing that now.
the grapes I just got were from Publix, and I only bought them because they were organic, and I have the hardest time finding organic grapes. So I bought green and red, and they both don't taste good, and I'm so upset
Oh,
because
you,
you know
you
they
got
want
to
to
get the
be.
bad ones. You got to get the pesticide sprayed. As long as you clean them, you're fine.
Right.
Yeah, so Becky, get those kids on frozen grapes. They'll love them. Love.
I love frozen cherries too.
I love frozen fruit in
Yeah.
general. I have a Vitamix, and you just whip some mango in there. I want a
You
creamy.
have
I keep seeing.
to get one.
I know.
I have the secret sauce, and I I wrote down a recipe today. I never write down anything because I just throw everything together, but I always get questions, especially about my creamies, because I'm super weird and I use typically either potatoes or carrots as a base.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed, and I'm like, I need your recipes. I mean, I just need a Ninja Creamy,
Yeah.
period. But yeah, awesome.
So I might, if it turns out good, we'll see either tonight or tomorrow. I will put that recipe
Let
up.
us
So,
know. Yeah, cool,
all right.
cool.
Creamy is the best. I want to know, Beth, what is your favorite mix in for your creamies? Big topic. I love to do cacao nibs. I get mine off of Thrive Market. Sometimes I do hemp seeds, um, maybe some nuts,
Yeah,
more frozen fruit, strawberries. It's all good.
yeah.
All right.
I need some good
Well,
recipes.
well, I've got you. Anything chocolate for me, I'm down with.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else you want to say before we hop off?
Just that if you've got questions, DM. I mean, drop it in the chat, DM me. Ashton, I think we both have links in our bios for a quick call. And, if you want to learn more about, really what I didn't speak on, like kind of what my program offers, I guess. Um, my business is called Real Life Rooted Wellness, which I'm really super passionate about. The real life part just resonates with me, in that it's just real life. When we were chatting before we got on live today, you were like, we're human and we're all humaning. I mean, I'm like, I love this girl. Like, yes, we are all human and we are humaning, but we're all so different, right? So it's not a one size fits all kind of situation. It is a deep dive into you as a whole person. And, working one on one with somebody can be a little bit daunting when you think about it, but it's an investment in yourself. And what you're getting outside of conventional, traditional healthcare is that you have that person, right, that's listening and doing that deep dive and kind of getting you from all angles as to really what's going on, what's contributing to your health concerns, and how are we going to go about uncovering that, right? So in my real life reboot is what I'm calling it. It's a 3-pillar kind of approach with uncovering all of that stuff, right? With the deep dive into the medical history and um, lifestyle, and then rebuilding that, whether that's incorporating lab work or developing a meal plan, or doing all of that in order to then discover you, the real you. So that's my approach, and I'm super super eager to start helping people do that, and I know that you are too. So
Yeah, and I love being online because we're able to be there for our clients all the time versus, like I mentioned earlier, having 4 months between appointments. It's just not very helpful at the end of the
I
day.
know. Yeah, yeah. It does make it, it's just a huge audience that you can reach. I'm local to Ohio. In my practice, I won't be practicing as a licensed medical professional, but with all of that experience as you with the coach, I mean, you can kind of reach so many more people. And I just think that it's awesome. It's
Mhm.
awesome. Right. So links are in our bios if you're interested or want more info.
DMs are always
DMs.
open.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, Susan, thank you so much for
You're
joining me.
welcome.
This was so much fun. I think we could talk all day. I had so many points that we didn't even get to, but
I know. Oh, I was like, I wrote down couple little notes and I'm like, yep, didn't say that, didn't say that. We talk all day. I'm
maybe another
sure these
time.
people are like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think we missed anyone. Did we? I can't see really that.
No, I don't see any. All
Okay.
right, Susan. Well, I hope you have a
You,
fantastic night.
thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thanks, guys, for joining.
Thank y'all.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.